So one of the biggest questions that I continue to get, like even though we've been doing this YouTube for a couple years now, is how do you sell sneakers and do you have any tips to sell sneakers? And I gotta say, recently I had a milestone of my own from selling sneakers for the first time. On my personal web store, untiedhawaii.com, we actually hit our first 1,000 orders. Yes, 1,000 orders. So that was pretty cool. I actually have sold not only that 1,000 shoes, but I've also sold like I think 600 or 700 between like GoDaddy, StockX, and eBay as well over the last couple years. So I do have some tips for you guys. Finally, my top 5 lessons actually that I learned from selling my first 1,000 sneakers. I guess it's technically 1,700, but whatever, we'll let it slide. I do want to mention that this video is not intended for people that have like major, huge bankrolls. Like if you guys have $10,000, $20,000 to spend on shoe investments, then this might not help you, because this is more for like the guys trying to start up. Because literally from day one when I started selling sneakers, I started off I think with like $1,000 to $2,000. It was not very much when I first started. Literally, like I had no idea what was going on. I just wanted to start with a little bit of money and then make a couple bucks reselling, and you know, now we built all of this. So here are my 5 lessons for you guys on how to sell sneakers and be successful at it. So number 1, the most important thing is volume, and volume. This took me a while to understand because for the most part I was trying to target rare shoes. You know, like back in the day I was looking for the most expensive Yeezys or the rarest Jordan 1s, and I was thinking, okay, this is the best way to do it, because if I get this rare shoe, it will go up in value over time, and then I can actually make money on this shoe by reselling it. However, after the first year or so, I realized there was not a huge market for people that can afford $1,000 shoe, which makes sense, right? Like raise your hand right now, how many of you guys can actually pay $1,000 for a Jordan 1 Travis Scott? It's very, very limited. So what I learned instead over time is that you guys want to do volume rather than rarity. And so here's the example that I'm going to give to you guys. If you guys have 5 pairs of shoes, each $200 each, so $1,000 total, right? But 5 pairs, $200 each, and you're able to sell those for about $250, making a profit of $50 each. That's a profit of $250 on your $1,000 investment. Because those shoes are $250, you're able to sell those a lot faster because most people can afford $250. I mean, Nike knows this. That's what they retail their shoes for basically. A lot of them are about $170 to $200, $250. So right in that area, it's pretty reasonable to afford. Conversely, if you had a $1,000 sneaker and you're trying to sell it for $1,250 to try to make that same $250 profit, not too many people can afford that $1,250 shoe. So that one is going to be sitting for a while. Meanwhile, those other 5 shoes that you had originally, those are going to sell really fast. You'll pocket your $250 on top of your original $1,000 investment. $1,250, you can invest those into new shoes. Meanwhile, that $1,250 shoe, the single one, still sitting there on the website waiting to be sold. So what I learned is don't waste time on that expensive shoe. Try to work on volume instead. Lesson number 2 is to use every single selling platform that you can in order to sell your sneakers. And I've actually listed a tier list over here for you guys, and this is what my tier list is. It may be different from yours, but the D tier obviously is StockX, because StockX sucks. And we already know that because of the customer service issues and lost shoes and all of these fees and all of these fake shoes that go through StockX. So that is well known. But even aside from that, just as a seller, there's so many red flags there. You can only sell DS shoes. There's like fees on top of fees on top of fees over there. And there really is just so many red flags that's not worth going over there. However, like I said, if you want to try to use every single resource, it's there. It's not an F, it's in D tier, so it's usable. I just wouldn't recommend it. eBay is actually one of the biggest platforms in order to get your name out there because there are so many customers that they have. So eBay is not bad at all. Also, if you guys have brick and mortar consignment shops, those aren't a bad option either. I also put these in the C tier because they usually take 15 to 20% depending on the store, right? And that's not a bad margin. It's actually a lot higher than some of the apps, but then you don't need to worry about shipping. It's easier to sell. You can kind of just drive it over there. You don't need to worry about like all of these problems that involve shipping, paying all these postals and stuff, and then worrying about like returns and stuff. So that's not a bad option either. B tier would be GoDaddy. I actually really love GoDaddy. As you guys know, you can sell new shoes over there. You can sell worn shoes. It's literally one of the safest places to sell. I don't see any like complaints about it. There's not like these like data violations and stuff like you have with StockX. There's not really any chargeback scams and stuff that can happen like with eBay. So GOAT is probably one of my favorites. However, I put it in B tier because A tier, it's its own class. And what I put into A tier is actually selling locally or opening up your own online web store. And this isn't for everybody because some people live in an area where maybe there isn't a lot of sneaker traffic and whatnot, so it's hard to sell locally. Like if you go to Craigslist or your local Facebook forums and stuff, maybe it's impossible to sell shoes wherever you are. However, online, you can always open your own e-commerce store and, you know, try to do your own like marketing and stuff through Instagram or through YouTube, whatever it may be. And that way, if you guys go through this route, you avoid fees. You don't need to pay like all of these service charges. If you're worried about your bottom line and money is tight, this is always the best way to go, peer-to-peer. And also, you did not hear this from me, but it's kind of hard to track taxes on paper-to-paper transactions, you know, like it's pretty difficult. So there's that. Anyway, that is lesson number 2. Use all of those resources, because the more you put your shoes out there, the more eyeballs on it, the faster you guys can make your sales. So don't only just put it on one single app, try to spread it over multiple apps or even your own web store. Every single avenue is at your disposal, use them. Lesson number 3 was do not neglect the small things. And what I mean by this is those little fees, they will add up. And a lot of people don't think about this, but they definitely do cut into your overall like profits that you can make. So for example, say you're selling on GoDapp, right? You see the fees that are in front of you. I think it's like 10% plus like a 2.9% PayPal fee. So that's 13%. We'll just round it up. Okay, you think that's about it for the fees, right? That's wrong. Next, you have to buy a cardboard box to ship the shoe that you got in. Usually those go for maybe like $1 or $2, so that's another couple bucks there. Additionally, you have to pay for duct tape. That's a couple cents here and there, right? Then you have to pay for packing paper, a couple cents here or there. You need to worry about paying for like a printer if you don't have one, because you got to print out the shipping form. So then you got to pay for the paper over there, you got to pay for the ink on there. And then after all of that is said and done, you have to pay taxes, because yes, they will send you like tax forms at the end of the year, and a lot of people sleep on this. You need to worry about taxes, so that's probably another 15 to 20% as well. So after all of that, your profits start to drop, and a lot of people don't take that into consideration, or they don't want to believe it. So what you really need to do if you want to get serious about reselling sneakers is to mark down all of these little costs, because these little costs do add up. And then at the end of the day, you're going to look at your bank account and you're going to be like, wait, I thought I should have had this amount of money. What's happening here? And then at the end of the year, when the tax man comes, you're going to be like, oh, actually I don't even have enough to pay this. Like, that is a rough place to be in. So mark everything down. This is super important. I know it's scary to see all of these fees and stuff coming, but you need to document this, because you want to see exactly how much money you're making. You can't just skimp over it and say, oh, it's just a couple boxes over here, a couple bucks here and there for duct tape. It really does add up when you guys are doing volume. Lesson 1, remember, they will add up. And so I guess this is like a bonus tip. Always save those boxes that you guys get from Sneakers app or Adidas. Whenever you guys get a win for sneakers and it comes in a box, or if you buy from GOAT, keep that cardboard box, because that is like $1 that you're saving. Just put it into your closet or something. Save those, use that to ship out your next pair of shoes. Literally, that will save you a ton of money. Do it. Even the packing paper in there, I save that too. Lesson number 4 is to study the market daily. Things in the sneaker market can change very quickly. I mean, we've seen it with the Ultra Boost, we've seen it with Yeezys getting like mass marketed. Prices will flux all over the place, and literally, if you're not checking the market daily, you will not know what's happening with your shoes. Maybe they're going down in value, maybe they're going up, maybe you're missing a prime time to sell. And really, if you're just trying to get into this and take it seriously, you want to know your craft. And so that's why, literally for me, I was spending about 1 to 2 hours a day every single day looking at eBay listings and also looking at GOAT listings. And I was just checking it daily, refreshing, seeing is there new shoes that are being posted, comparing prices, seeing if there's things that I can snipe. Because if you're on that app before somebody else and you see a new listing pop up, and say it's for a pair of Jordan 1 Breads that usually go for $500, a good pair that you see is going for $3. If you're the first one there, you're gonna get that buy. So make sure you guys are there, because otherwise you wouldn't have it, and you just made 200 extra bucks there. And I will say, don't try to worry about every single shoe. And I guess this is a bonus tip in here too. When you guys are monitoring daily for shoes, don't try to do it all. Like, you can't be a master of New Balance, Nike, Adidas, Puma, whatever it is. You literally cannot learn every single model of those shoes and track every single model. So my suggestion to you would be to be a master of like 5 certain styles of shoes. So for example, you can look at Jordan 1s, you can look at Yeezy 350s, you can look at Jordan 3s, Jordan 11s, and then maybe a couple Nike SB Dunk lows. That's my 5 that I usually look at, that's why, and be a master of that market, because there's only so many models there. You can track those pretty easily. Lastly, lesson number 5 is do not hold shoes for a very long time. Now, this is a lesson that it took me years to figure out, guys, because the sneaker market, as we said, is ever changing. And if you guys hold on to shoes for too long, you will lose out on money. I will give you a huge example, which maybe some of you guys know, the Ultra Boost market, and I guess the NMD market as well. At one point in 2016 to 2017, Ultra Boost and NMDs were selling for over $1,000 for some pairs of shoes. Now these shoes are sitting on shelves in like Foot Lockers and even making it to the outlets. Like, you can literally buy a pair of Ultra Boost at retail or even under retail now. Whereas before, they were selling out, and even the basic colorways, the black and whites, whatever it may be, those were selling for like 2 to 3 times the price, because there was a lot of hype there. So imagine the reseller that was like, okay, I'm gonna buy up all of these Ultra Boosts, keep them in stock, and then I'm gonna sell them all in 2020. that guy lost a lot of money. Because if you were buying at resale at the time and you're like thinking, okay, it's gonna keep going up, and you weren't able to cop it at retail, then you guys definitely lost a lot of money. It downtrended quite a bit. And even if you're able to cop it at retail, it's hard to sell it back for even that retail pricing now. So literally over those 3-4 years, you're sitting on dead money because it was literally shoes in your shelf that you were thinking, okay, it's gonna go up in value, this is a good investment. And then you come to find out you're gonna make your money back only, no profit, and maybe in some cases even less than what you initially invested into it. So that was dead money for 4 years of your life. That's why you can't hold shoes for a very long time, because things like that can happen. So from my experience, I would say the sweet spot is usually about 2 to 3 years. And so there are some cases where obviously holding is a good idea. I don't want to say it's completely bad. Sometimes it is good to hold it for over 4 years. I mean, and you guys have seen it with like Nike SB Dunks, certain limited colorways like the What the Dunks. If you guys are holding those are a gold mine now. Additionally, a lot of Jordan 1s will go up over time past 4 years because they're Jordan 1s, everybody wants them. So definitely those things will continue to rise over time, and this is why you need to get like good at it and know like, okay, what is good to hold, what's not. And really, like, even the experts don't know sometimes. Like, people still take L's all the time. Take the L and then use that money to get a new W. You know, don't just sit on it and hope, okay, I hope it goes up in like 5 years. That's too long. You guys don't have that much money to work with. Remember, we said 1,000 to 2,000 was my budget. If I'm sitting on dead money from that budget, I can't do anything else, you know? So all these other shoes are gonna pass me by. I'd rather have money in the bank, keep moving it in and out. And so actually that is the top 5 lessons that I learned. I've probably learned another 20 to 30 lessons over that time, and there's so many different things that I could talk about, but these are the 5 that really stuck out to me and things that I still use to this day. And I really hope you guys learned something from this video. Like for me, I really want to try to show you guys my lessons in sneaker reselling so you guys don't make the same mistakes. Some of you guys may argue some of the things that I said in this video, and that's perfectly fine. Like, you don't need to do business the exact same way that I do it. This is the way I found success though, and this is the way that I actually sold my 1,000 shoes and made quite a bit of money doing it. Some people will also argue, okay, you have a YouTube channel, you were able to sell all of these on your web store because you are a personality. I will tell you guys, at 2016, number of subscribers, 0. I had to build everything up. I had to use my social media, I had to use marketing, I had to get my name out there, and that's how I'm able to build a web store that can sell 1,000 shoes as just a single person. If I could start off with 0 subscribers, 0 followers on Instagram, you guys can do it too. But I appreciate all you guys watching. I hope you guys did like it. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up so other people will also see this video. We want to try to help as many people as we can with this, so hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, and I appreciate all you guys behind the screen. And as always, guys, until next time, stay humble, stay blessed, take care, and I will see you on the next episode. Aloha. Shoots!